Christ on a cracker. When I talk about something sketchy, something just significant just fell in my lap and I just jumped on it. 1 in a million shot at a salvage yard, and I just took it home and said, fuck it. So many things to do, what ifs, buts, worries, all types of mental anguish. So many things I gotta try at once. It's like a hot dish of problems and possibilities. Brace yourselves. '75 Cadillac Fleetwood d'Elegance that hasn't ran since 1998. No title, no battery, battery wires are cut, no keys. God knows what else I'm missing. It's just one of those things that drives you to drink. Oh yeah. Let's get to it.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I just was looking for an Oldsmobile part, to tell you the truth. That's how it started. Still working on the cruise control transducer, modulator, whatever the fuck you call it. Yeah, the speedometer's acting up, so I went to the junkyard to go look for a part. Went through their new inventory lot, and this thing showed up, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I need it or not, but one thing led to another. So close. I was so close from taking this home. I was ready to trade my Mercury for this car. But no, they wouldn't want to take the Mercury. They were like, nah, we have a hard time selling them Ford vehicles. Somewhere around this lot, they got a 73 Lincoln Mark IV that runs with a title and it's from Montana with no rust, but apparently they can't sell the darn thing, and they're like, well, we couldn't take that, your Mercury, just because we have a hard time selling the Lincoln, we have a hard time selling the Mercury, so no trade. But $2,000, so I'm like, I don't know, so I had to bite my tongue on that. I mean, I got the money, but I'm not sure if I want to spend it on something like this, you know. Trade-in, sure, but still. You know, I don't regret trading my first Cadillac, the brown one, for the Oldsmobile, but you know, part of me still misses it, you know, kind of like unfinished business type of thing. But you know, I guess it wasn't meant to be. You know, that brown car, it had things that weren't great for daily driver usage, which is why I traded it. I needed something that was a good work car. That Cadillac, that brown one, just wasn't good enough as a daily driver. Hell, I couldn't keep it up to modern day traffic without revving the piss out of it, so. But as a project car, that's a whole nother story. But this just wasn't in the cards. Oh well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. It's here. Wasn't even looking for a car. What are the odds? I had a 76 like 4 or 5 months ago. Now I'm sitting on a 75 with better interior. It's a d'Elegance, so it's all fluffy and shaggy inside, which is what I like. I mean, I can't there's no title, but there's a bill of sale, so with a little fancy paperwork, I can get one remade. But there's a lot of fucking shit I gotta go through. I mean, this is just fucking, it is what it is. The hood was locked. I mean, not locked, but they seize up when they don't get used enough, so had to bitch and kick and scream at it like it owed me money, and it opens up. Still a little stiff, but I old pissed out of the hinges. 500 cubic inch, because that's the only way Cadillac does it. And I'll say another thing, I did get the motor to turn over just a little bit with some sketchy work at the salvage yard. I took some tidbits of videos when I was there, so this is like the introduction to the whole fucking thing. So started with the Oldsmobile stuff, literally pointing at that car because I parked it over here, but started with the Oldsmobile stuff, now it just segued into a Cadillac, so how can I say ultimately no? I was wondering, but fuck it, you know. I'll take my chances with it. Motor turns over just a few inches, but it's enough to know I ain't locked up, and the starter kicks on with some sketchy work, you know, for the wiring. Let's see here. Get you in close to the motor. Now, this air breather cover was, how should I say, the wing nut was basically welded on through rust, so had to give it some PB Blaster and some massaging, and I got it off. Luckily the carburetor isn't seized, it's still flexible, moves, so there's some mice action, but not as much. You know, my Mercury had a hell of a lot more mice problems than I think this car is going to give me. A lot more nuts and berries put away on the motor in that car, and the air breather cover didn't have a whole colony of nuts piled up by the air filter. The Mercury did that, but not this car. But I can't do dick until I can turn the damn thing. I'm not going to do any sketchy wiring. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way by key, and I got a bunch of keys. So we're going to replace the ignition, the doors, and the trunk. We'll start with the ignition, because I can get the ignition key done, then I can start turning it on with the ignition, you know, on and off, on and off. Got a battery. We'll get the connections, the battery connections. They've been snipped, they've been circumcised. Replace those. I don't know why they did that. I've never come across that shit before. So, all sorts of crap. There's like a million things I got to do at once, so I got to sort out which is most important. So I'm going to try with the ignition lock first. That way I can just get some type of control on this. Jiminy Cricket, I mean, what the fuck was the last person doing? You know, it's all snipped. A little bit of rust action going on there, but that's what a shop vac's for. I can easily clean off this motor. What do we have here? Hey, back in 91 it was good to negative 35 degrees. Now I did check the tranny. Like I said, I got some videos of it when I first encountered this car. Check the fluids. Transmission fluid is still cherry red. Oil is still clean, but I'm going to replace that. I ain't going to trust it. And actually the coolant is about half full, so the radiator's half full, so there's still fluids in this whole thing. But before I even work on the motor, I'm just going to give you a little look around. Not too bad. It's going to get the Pure 15 treatment eventually. 500. Now, if I remember correctly, the 472 was an option up until 74, and after that it was just 500 all the way until they downsized in 77 with the 425s. I don't know how much power these motors made. I just looped them all together in the mid-70s because they've all been detuned by the government intervention, so they all make just about 190 to 200 horsepower. Last year you can get actually anything decent for horsepower and performance with 71, which is the motor in my other Cadillac, and we've all seen what that fucking thing can do. Just wait till I rebuild it, that's still stock. My brown Cadillac had rust going through the nose of it. You know, these hoods are known for that. I call them eagle nose hoods just because, you know, they've been like an eagle nose. But with enough pure 15, I can save just about anything. Gotta love how they did that with the blower motor. You have to take out the inner fender out just to get at it. Just access hole. Oil up those fucking hinges. You have to. You want to kink your hood and you want to wreck the hinges. So oil them up is mandatory if you're gonna have these old fuckers. These two, and that. You know, that, and that. Hit the springs. I gotta do that to the carb too. Missed that step. Well, with little success, well, little effort, it wasn't that hard surprisingly, I got the nut off the starter. Even jacked up, it's still cramped, so couldn't really video that. And, either way, it's done. Thought that'd be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna get some snippers. Every wire's been cut. Right there. Okay. We're going for a top post action right here. So let's say I got the battery in and I hear some snap, crackle, and popping and it's not the serial. Well, it's better to have a top post than a side post because you can easily just pluck the top post off. You can get a car to run just letting it rest on the connections. I do it on my Mercury all the time. You're not supposed to, but I do it because I'm a lazy prick. It's, you know, you don't always have a, you can't yank a side post out and you need a ratchet, so in a panic and a hurry, it's not a good idea. But a top post, you hear something smelling, there's smoke, boop, now you just disconnected it. It's just quicker that way, so that's why I chose a top post. And Cadillacs used to have been that way. I don't know when they started doing the side post action, but they used to have been. This way. What kind of battery we got? EverStart with a big value on it. Okay. I think this should be, ground's on this side. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I think the cable should be long enough, which is the good part. And it's red. Both cables are black, so to the novice, that gets confusing. Not knowing what one is the other. Okay, that should be good for the power. We're going to do the negative now. That's way the fuck down there. It's like right on the frame. I need some extensions. We're going to play a game. It's called Dig Your Hand into the Jar Full of Miscellaneous Sockets. Whatever one fits wins. That's what I'm gonna do. Will this work? Hey, I'm a winner. What do we got here? This is Craftsman size. Oh, 15 millimeter. Sometimes the brand is more indented than the size itself. I cannot for the life of me keep my tools organized, so it's everywhere. I don't feel bad because it happens to everyone. And the ones who keep their shops organized, where it's like a surgeon's table, well, they must have OCD and a drug addiction problem. Well, the ground is now fused. I was going to say out, but needs some more. Ooh, what's wrong with this fucker? We're gonna have to get all serious now. Come on, you whore. Come on. Come on. I don't even need to do this part. It's already unbolted. I can just go right next to it with the new wire. Come on, you whore. We're getting involved. Okay, for you kids watching, and you're just getting into the old car world, lesson number 1, the simplest of things will take all fucking day. And there's no man on this earth will disagree on me with that. You could spend 8 hours trying to do a fucking nut that you machined round into a circle. Or anything else. Not that I've done that, but I've heard stories. Point is, don't expect it to go smooth no matter what the fuck you're doing. Expect the worst. That is unbelievably stuck. Okay, we got the frame, and the thing's bolted to the frame, but you got the fender, you know, sandwiched on top of it, and I'm trying to pull it out between the two. Ah, you fucking whore! Ooh. Corroded battery cable dust. Should be plenty long enough to just go from point A to point D. Look at that. I got the wires connected down to the starter. They both reach. The ground's connected to the frame. Now it's just a matter of zip tying them so they don't flop around. And I'm going to replace that fucker. That's all, you know, got a whole bunch of bumfuckery going on there. And I checked my other Cadillac for reference. It doesn't have that or that. It's just a single straight wire going back to the alternator. So whatever works for my other Cadillac, it'll probably work for this one. So I'm going to have to go consult with my collection of wires. One of these are bound to work. Thinking the orange one, if I can get one long enough. Oh, I did a professional job. That orange wire worked. It was long enough. Haven't zip tied it all together, but it's all there. We'll give it a little tap tap. Ooh. Huh. Must have did something funky with the steering wheel where it keeps the horn to stay on. No matter. I can always just pull the plug on the horns. Now I got all the wirings hooked up, the batteries in, ground positive, they're all good to go and tightened down. I even got a fire extinguisher. We're at that level of professionalism here today. Disabled the horn function. I don't know what I did in the steering column, but I just pulled the spring out so there's no connection to make the horn work. And I can make my own horns if I want to. I got a collection of air horns I can just throw in this thing. So we're going to turn this thing over just to see what it'll do. I'm not going to try and get it run right now. I just want the motor to make a few revolutions. So get this thing all set up. Alright, now we're going to connect the battery and get this thing ready. See if it'll start. There. We're live. It's, well, wait a minute here. Don't hear anything crackling. Crank it over and see what it does. Holy shit. Well, I guess that confirms that the motor's not locked up. You can't kill a Cadillac engine. It's actually work to kill these motherfuckers. I mean, it didn't lock up in 22 years. That deserves a toast.
Care to join me in a belt of scotch?
It's 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but I haven't slept in days. Oh, yeah.
Nice steady flow. Some viscosity. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad either. I'll check the filter as well. We're going from CarQuest to Wix. Come on, you little fucker. Hand tighten it, so once it gets good and cute, one more turn and you're done. That's what we're going to bring this car back with. 4 quarts of 10W30 and 1 quart of Ford Type F. It's the better transmission fluid to use to wash out your motor. There's other transmission fluids to use, but Ford Type F is, better at it for this technique. So we're going to get this car to run on its own, smooth it out, whatever problems it have, vacuum leaks or carburetor issues. All the while I'm troubleshooting, just get the motor running like it's supposed to. This is going to be breaking it in, and we're re-breaking it in and cleaning it out at the same time. Alright, when we're going to be doing this, mix it first with the training fluid. It's going to go in first. And then the rest of the quarts will just mix it all in. Number 2. Oh yeah, before I even fire this thing up, I don't even know if it's got spark, I just know it turns over. But let's just say, yeah, everything works, it's gonna pop off. Before I even do that, I'm gonna put an oil pressure gauge to see if this thing's even got good oil pressure. Okay. What size is this? And it's 1/4. We're doing 1/4 today. Clamp her down or tighten it a little. Almost done. There, a couple more turns and we're good. There. Now we got 1 gallon of 91 octane without the ethanol. 1 gallon precisely, because here's a little trick for you boys and girls. When you got a motor that hasn't ran in about forever, use some 2-cycle oil or 2-stroke gas. Lubricates and rejuvenates the motor at the same time. When you got the top end of that motor is dry as a fucking Sahara, because everything migrated down to the oil pan. So to start it not dry, to lubricate the cylinders, you mix a little bit of this with regular engine oil, gasoline. It'll lubricate the cylinders while the motor's firing up. Mix it with 1 gallon. That's all it needs is one, just to get it, to figure out what this motor's doing. Yep, 2-stroke gas is perfect for starting up motors that haven't ran in years and years and years. Give it a good shake. That'll work. Put a little gas down the carburetor. I stuck the hose down the gas tank's mouth, so hopefully it pops. This is the first time it's ran in 22 years, since 1998. Let's see what happens. Well, it looks like it needs some more finesse, but she popped. That's good. There's spark getting down to the spark plug. It's just a matter of getting everything, cycling again. So keep giving it some of that go juice. This ain't spring water. You can squirt some gas in there. getting better. Getting better. Oh, I'd say this calls for a celebration. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 22 years, 1998, runs today, 2020. We're not out of the woods yet. It's a runner, that's good. It's got good oil pressure. It shot up to around 40. That's very good. This is all good signs, but there's still more to do. Because now we got to work on the cooling system now. I don't have a temp gauge in that, but I will eventually. Because if I'm going to let this thing run a bit longer, I got to make sure it doesn't overheat. And then we'll get this thing moving, and one step after another. So we're heading in the right direction, and I'm fucking stoked about it. This thing is going to be a good runner. It's going to own the road like it's supposed to. It's a Cadillac, for Pete's sake. And no fires. So it's a win-win of all wins. Oh man, I can't wait to drive this thing. And better yet, all the electrical stuff inside, well, the power windows all work, but I'm not going to play with them hardcore because they need to be relubed. Radio kind of works. Trunk button does not work. You press on it, but I can fix that. I'm going to explore it a little bit more and more, but you know, it takes a while to bring this car back to speed, you know. One step at a time. Well, now we're at the point where we can start doing the cooling system. I'm going to drain it out, put in some purified water, flush it out, a few times. Because I don't know how gross it is on the inside of the engine. Even though the coolant looks green from the outside, looking at the corner of the radiator, that's encouraging. I know what bad coolant can look like if you remember the Oldsmobile. Man, that's nasty. So we're going to flush it out with some purified water for a while, put an inline sending unit in the heater hose by the heater core because it's easier to do it that way, then fist the motor elbow deep to find the other sending unit where it would normally go, because I ain't in the mood to move the compressor or look underneath the distributor to feel it. Give the motor a physical. So we'll do it the quick and easy way through the heater hose, because I want this motor to run longer than 2 minutes. I'm going to put gas in the gas tank, about 5 gallons. Inline fuel filters, about 2 or 3 of them. Because I don't want greedy gas going to the carburetor. Baby steps before you can walk, before you can run, and so on and so on and so on, Just keep having at it. I'm whipping shitties in this car in no time, let me tell you. Well, let's start with the coolant first. A little up north. There it is. I couldn't tell you if every motor GM sent out had these, but I know Cadillac did. Maybe Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, Buick has them, but I know Cadillac sure shit does. And this one takes 7/16. Hopefully a 16-quart, oil jug can handle it. Almost there. Hopefully it lands in the damn pan. Probably do this by hand now. Yep. Didn't expect that. Huh. Hey, if this is, well, this alone proves I'm not lying for sitting for 22 years. You know, if the old license plate with the old tabs didn't convince you. Huh. I have to go South Paul. There. It was clogged, so I drilled it out, and it splashed all over me. You know, while this is pissing out, I'm gonna check the other side of the block if there's a second drain cock. Just rule out any what ifs on that. Part of me thinks maybe, but I don't know yet. Nope, just the one. And it's a long piss. Oh yeah, I got a fuel line to do as well. 3 times the charm. It starts here. 1, 2, and 3. Forward and back around to there. Hopefully that's enough. Now it's just a matter of getting gas now and see if I can get this thing to idle for a while. Testing. Well, the motor stopped pissing, but doesn't mean it's completely out of coolant. So we're going to do a little bit of a trick here. Requires some of these and a socket. I guess this 1/1/16 should do it. All you gotta do is wrap it and shove it in the hole. Take your other blue, may or may not be made out of cotton fiber material, wrap it around your air nozzle, and we're going to use air pressure to blow. We're going to use air pressure to blow the rest of the shit out of the motor. That's the plan. That'd be a piss. Yep. Yep, it's still pissing. It's pissing out now. Now I'm hearing air coming out of the drain cock. I know it's going to take a gallon right off the bat, but 2 gallons? Maybe. I just eat it all. Because naturally, water wants to level out. So it's going down to the radiator through their low radiator hose and filling up the motor. But there will probably be air pockets on the top end, so hence we got to start the car and, you know, work all that stuff out and let it burp out. And it needs a 1/3 gallon. Oh, I got 4 gallons even in this, so that's how much I know will be in this car. A little bit of a prime for a good time. Moment of truth. More gas. Coming from the main tank now and not the small gas tank. Take 2. Success. Oh yeah, not much for brakes. Neutral. Motherfucker runs 22 years of how it runs. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? This fucker runs. 22 years, no more. Running today. Fucking sweet. Albeit the charging system needs work. What the fuck does it on this car? It's a runner. Everything works, got oil pressure, good temperature readings, shifts in all gears instantly. You can't expect a perfect win with this 22, sitting on the ass car. The fact that it runs and its vitals are good, it's a win for me. So now it's just a matter of just ironing out the kinks and smoothing it out and making this thing a good daily driver once more. That's it for this video. So, there'll be more of this shit going on. You haven't seen the last of this blue car, and I've yet to come up with a name for it. And I need a drink again. Through all my airplane bottles. Maybe I can take this car to the liquor store. Oh, we'll see.